Alright, Raptor fans, Raptor Nation, what is going on? This is RPGT here once again. This is just a very early preview right now. Right now, it is after 1 o'clock in the morning as I'm making this video, and just wanted to talk about this series here between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Toronto Raptors, Game 6 tonight, as I should mention. So, right now, all of the other teams in the East are done with. Last night, Milwaukee eliminated Chicago. They will now play the Boston Celtics in that 2-3 matchup, and the winner of this series will face the Miami Heat in the second round. So Miami Heat is gonna have to maybe wait and see who they play. And all I'm saying right now, Game 6, whatever happens, for us Raptor fans, we want to see the Raptors continue this series and stretch it to a Game 7. Right? But I know there's a but in this situation here, but if the Raptors end up bowing out, eliminated later tonight, um, there should be no shame. There should be no shame in this season, okay? And as I mentioned from before, in some of my post-game reactions during these playoffs and before the playoffs, that the Raptors were not supposed to be in this situation. The Raptors were not supposed to make it this far. Raptors in this series being down 0-3, have now won 2 straight games to force this Game 6. Okay? And the Raptors could have just gave up after Game 3. Okay? They could have just said, okay, we had enough. We don't want to be here, but that's not Raptors mentality or Raptors type of basketball. So, and the Raptors will be home, as I mentioned. Scotiabank Arena should be loud. It should be popping. The crowd just got to do the same thing they did in Game 4, right? And there's gonna be a lot of stuff gonna be happening. Yeah, so like I was saying, a lot of stuff is gonna be happening in game number 6. Um, Now just kind of bear with me when I'm making these videos here, folks. I'm just speaking whatever comes in my mind, and usually I'm kind of a slow talker. Sometimes I don't want to talk too fast and then you don't hear what I'm saying, and hope you understand. But anyways, let's get back to the video here. So Raptors right now, this is the first time in their franchise history, okay, that being down 0-3 has won 2 games. Now remember, they were down 0-3 a couple of times to LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they did not even win a game. They got swept on the road and at home, okay? That was in the second round. First time they made the playoffs against the Knicks in 2000, first round, which was a best of 5 series that time. To the Knicks, they were swept in three 3 games. Okay, best of 5. Now, if you look at history, that no NBA team has ever come back in playoff history from 0-3 down to win the next 4 games and to win the series. It's happened in baseball, it's happened in hockey. Okay, I talked about this many of times. Um, so who's not to say? Who's not to say that the Raptors could be the first NBA team to pull off this miracle? Okay, and for the Philadelphia 76ers, uh, look, they're a great organization. They have been there for a long, long time. Um, but personally, I just felt like after game three, Joel Embiid's ego just caught up with him. I'm, you know, him with that shot, that game 3 dagger in overtime, which should not have happened. I said this before. If Precious Achua had made his free throws in the fourth quarter and OG making at least 1 or 2 of his free throws, okay. I think he did. I think he made one and missed one, and the tie game, 101 apiece. Embiid's 3 was maybe a sign. Maybe it was a sign for the Raptors to lose that game, to be down 0-3. Maybe the basketball gods had something in plan for the Toronto Raptors to say, look, do not worry. We want to show you something. We want to say to you guys, we have something in store for this organization, the Toronto Raptors. Okay? And going back to Joel Embiid's ego and the way he was acting um, after game 3, he's telling the crowd to, I believe he was telling him to F off or something like that. And then you see him walking beside Toronto's own popular artist, Drake. And, it did not kind of reach to me, and I didn't really think about it at that time. But now, looking back after game 3, Embiid said, he told Drake, I'm coming for that sweep. I mean, those are strong words. Those are positive words. His team's up 3-0. He wants to finish off the Raptors in Toronto, get on with it. That the Sixers will have enough time to rest. Those words, I just feel like those words just kind of put the Sixers in a hex. The Drake curse, it's real. Okay? Now, if Joel Embiid said that in the locker room with Drake not nowhere near him or beside him, then maybe this series would have been over. Okay? Maybe this series would have been over from last week. But those words, Embiid just let his ego go and Drake right beside him. I just feel like the curse is happening right now. Okay. And also, yeah, I mean, you gotta look at this also too. Looking back between these two teams, okay, between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Toronto Raptors, the first time they met in 2001. Remember the days with Vince Carter and Alvin Williams, Charles Oakley, Antonio Davis, a young rookie, Mo Pete. 2001 against the Sixers, the Raptors were down 3-2. They had to win game 6 at the ACC, which was called back then Air Canada Center, known as because Vince Carter, the home of Vince Carter, as some people like to call it. They had to win game 6 to force game 7 back in Philadelphia. Okay? 3 years ago, 2019, second round. I remember that was second round as well in 2001. Second round in 2019, Raptors were up 3-2, going to Philadelphia, game 6. Philadelphia had to win game 6 at home to force a game 7. And in both situations, game 7, the home team won. So, there's quite of a pattern here right now. So right now, it's almost feeling like 2001, where we are right here in 2022. And I mean, I posted a video, Chuck saying after game 5, look, the Raptors look like they are ready to win this game. They are ready for a game 7, the way they are playing right now. And there is no doubt about it. The adjustments that the Raptors have made after game 3, I know a lot of people, even myself, are saying Raptors should have be up 3-2. Okay. But that's in the past. We cannot go back and reflect what happened in game 3. We are right here. Raptors are down 3-2 right now. But this is just something that I believe was just in the plans of this happening in NBA history. And might I remind you, look, the record is 0 teams out of 143. Okay? Out of 143. So since I really don't know how long I can go back to find out when the best of 7 series started. I think you have to go back in the 80s, because I think it was 84. They started the best of 7 series, or maybe somewhere later. I don't know. Right? So I believe this is just a plan for this to happen. The NBA is saying, look, you know what? Maybe it doesn't look good on our side to have no history like this that no team has ever come back from a 0-3 deficit, right? Um, Now, I gotta also mention a few more things. Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet, look, I talked about, his struggles and with him not playing with the team, how the Raptors are a much better team. I mean, it just shows. It really shows. And look, I know he's injured right now. Okay, he left halfway through Game 4, and with that game, the Raptors went on that little run, went on to win the game. He didn't play Game 5. Raptors won. The Raptors are just a better defensive team without Fred VanVleet on the court. Playing against the Sixers. Okay? Maybe like against other teams. I mean, if it does go far in Game 7 and the Raptors do make that comeback win and facing Kyle Lowry in the next round, which I don't want to get too ahead of myself right now. I just gotta take it game after game. Just gotta focus on this Game 6 right now. But Fred VanVleet not on the court against the Sixers, it just gives Nick Nurse more better matchups. Okay, and he's just using his size players, his 6'8", 6'9" players on the court, which Gary Trent Jr., the only smallest guy, for the Raptors right now. And also back to VanVleet. VanVleet, yeah, look, there was no reason why Tyrese Maxey should have scored 38 points in Game 1 because Fred VanVleet just too slow. Maxey was too quick for him, and the frustration kind of built up from there. Game 2, almost the same thing, but Maxey didn't score as much as he did in Game 1, and Game 3, he disappeared in that one. So did Siakam, but Siakam's another story. I'm not going to really talk about Siakam in this video here. But not having Fred VanVleet could just be one of the main key factors. And look, I would like to see him play. But in my case, for him to start, I don't think I want to see him start. If he comes off the bench, okay. But I don't think that's gonna happen, right? So he is a game time decision for Game 6. Okay. But my other thing is with this series, look, Nick Nurse said all you need is one. And that one came in Game 4. But that Game 4, as I said, I'm going to repeat myself over and over again. If Scotty Barnes had not played in Game 4, I believe it was over. The moment Scotty Barnes made his return in Game 4, I said the Raptors will have a chance. Now, will they win the series? Only time will tell. But I believe that Scotty Barnes is that key factor, and so far He's showing it right now. Rookie of the year, showing it right now. A guy that can play all positions. So if you have Scotty Barnes playing the point, or have Gary Trent Jr. playing the point, then you can switch those two guys. Um, Either the guard Tyrese Maxey, okay, and who's the other, uh, or switch them to play guard James Harden. All right, that gives you a better defensive matchup along with your wing defenders like OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam. Okay. And then when you have Kim Birch trying to draw fouls on Joel Embiid, right? Try to slow Joel Embiid in the early part, because I believe that thumb injury it's getting to him, right? But if he's a tough cookie, he's gonna try to uh, play through it. That's look good for him, right? But if the Raptors can do what they did in Game 5, try to tire out Embiid, because right now he just does not look focused already. The James Harden from Houston days, I've heard a lot of people say about this. It's not the same guy we're seeing right now on the Philadelphia 76ers. Sometimes I feel like James Harden is thinking about which strip club or which casino he wants to go to. Okay, he's not focused on this game or in this series. If he was, James Harden would have had a couple of games where he probably scored like 40 plus already. So we don't have to worry about that Houston Rocket OKC type James Harden player. Nick Nurse making adjustments after getting Scotty Barnes back in the lineup just changes everything. And I know he realized with Fred not on the court, the Raptors are just a much better team. And I could sit here and tell you Game 6 could be the end of this Raptors season. And as a season, when you look back after last year in Tampa Bay and Orlando the year before, the bubble, making the playoffs, missing the playoffs in Tampa Bay, having that fallback season, drafting Scotty Barnes in the year after, that the Raptors were not supposed to make it this far. They were not supposed to make the playoffs. And look, they're still playing. Chicago's gone. Chicago was one of the top teams in the East. And look how far they have fallen back. And now they're out. The Cleveland Cavaliers, same thing. They had a great season. Injuries caught up to them. Made it to the play-in tournament. Lost 2 of their games. They didn't even make the playoffs. And the Raptors were supposed to win 36-37 games, winning 48. So they exceeded higher expectations. So as I said earlier in this video, there is no shame of the Raptors bowing out, being eliminated in these playoffs. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think Game 6, as long as the Raptors come out early and set the tone, play good defense, play good transition defense, get rebounds, clean up on the glass. But I mean, we're gonna need guys like Birch to get maybe 10, 11 rebounds. Off the bench, Precious Achua, if he does the same thing like he did in Game 5, 17 points off the bench, or even more, that's going to be a big help. Pascal Siakam, as I mentioned, I wasn't going to talk too much about him, but Pascal Siakam steps up his game again, like after having a career high in Game 4, 34 points, then the double-double in Game 5. We're going to need to see that type of performance again. This got to be consistent. Okay? And Scotty Barnes, Magic Johnson said, I don't remember the correct words what he said, but he just mentioned that he's one of the greatest, not greatest, well, the best rookies he has seen in this rookie class. So Scotty Barnes, he said he's ready to go. Okay, Chris Boucher, the only thing he's gonna have to work on, and a lot of people have been talking about this, Chris Boucher, look, this guy's gotta stop jumping into the shooters when he's defending, especially on the three. All right, and as I mentioned, history, not only on the Raptors side, but with Doc Rivers. Now, Doc Rivers in a post-game interview yesterday was asked about him, blowing 3-1 leads, and he was talking about, 2003 with his Orlando Magic being the 8th seed. Look at the roster he had back then. Then he was talking the 2015 Clippers, mentioned that Chris Paul was injured. He missed 2 games, and they choked. And it's funny, that 2015 matchup against the Houston Rockets, James Harden was on that Houston team. Go figure. And then in 2020 with the bubble, with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, people call him Pandemic P, he was saying, they blew that one. So he's 0-3 when being up 3-1. Now this has gotta be, well, not gotta be. This is his first 3-0 series lead. So if he blows that, bad. No, I don't wish nothing bad on Glenn Rivers, that's his real name. But if that happens, that might be a new coach with the Philadelphia 76ers after Game 7. All right. So, thank you for watching. That's it. This is just a little early preview I'm doing right now. It's after 1:30 right now as I'm speaking. And yeah. So let's go Raptors. Hoping for a Game 6 win, which I believe it's going to happen because, as I mentioned, the trend so far with these two teams 2001 Game 6, Raptors had to win at home. 2019 Game 6, Philadelphia had to win at home. And both of those series were second round. This is a first round type situation now. And I just believe the trend is going to continue. All right. Have a great night, and I'll see you after the game, doing my post-game reaction. And as before I go, remember, I'm not watching the game. I didn't watch Game 4, did not watch Game 5, so I'm not watching Game 6. So if this superstitious thing is working so far, I'm gonna continue it. Now the only thing is, I might change my mind, and the only way I change my mind, if Fred VanVleet is starting Game 6, because as I said, he's a game time decision. If he starts Game 6, then I'm not watching. If he does not start, I might watch the game. All right. Take care, everyone.